Jack turned on his flashlight and shone it at the ventilator. Suddenly a large snake slithered out. They were terrified, but Sophia quickly grabbed a stick and struck the snake. The snake, frightened, quickly slithered back into the ventilator and disappeared. Welcome to Ezy English. In today's episode, we are exploring The Adventure of the Speckled Band by Arthur Conan Doyle. Join us as we follow Jack and Sophia on a thrilling journey to solve a mysterious and dangerous case. Perfect for improving your English while enjoying a classic detective story. The Adventure of the Speckled Band. In a peaceful countryside village, there were two amateur detectives named Jack and Sophia, who often helped the villagers solve mysterious cases. One day, they received a letter from Mrs. Harriet, an elderly woman living in an old, creaky house, seeking help because of strange occurrences in her home. When they arrived, Mrs. Harriet told them that every night she heard strange noises and felt like something was crawling around her house. She also mentioned hearing a strange hissing sound coming from her cat's room, the cat named Speckled because of its oddly patterned fur. Jack and Sophia began their investigation by exploring the house and listening to Mrs. Harriet's story. They discovered that Mrs. Harriet's room and the cat's room were connected by a small ventilator. That night, Jack and Sophia decided to stay awake and monitor the situation. They hid in the living room, waiting and listening. At midnight, the strange hissing sound began. The two detectives grabbed their flashlights and cautiously entered Mrs. Harriet's room. They found Speckled the cat staring intently at the ventilator, where the hissing was coming from. Jack turned on his flashlight and shone it at the ventilator. Suddenly a large snake slithered out. They were terrified, but Sophia quickly grabbed a stick and struck the snake. The snake, frightened, quickly slithered back into the ventilator and disappeared. Both detectives sighed with relief and burst out laughing. Turns out, Speckled isn't just the cat's name, but also a real snake. Jack said, still trembling with excitement. They decided to investigate further and discovered that the snake belonged to Mr. Howard, Mrs. Harriet's neighbor, who kept many exotic animals. Mr. Howard admitted that the snake had accidentally crawled into Mrs. Harriet's house through the ventilator. Mrs. Harriet thanked the amateur detectives, and Jack and Sophia promised to help her install a protective mesh over the ventilator to prevent any future incidents. The story of the cat Speckled and the snake became a humorous tale that the entire village recounted during gatherings. From then on, Jack and Sophia were known as smart and brave detectives, but also as humorous ones who handled quirky situations with a smile. And Mrs. Harriet always remembered that night, when the two detectives solved the mystery and brought laughter to the entire village.